From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and informed.
Love in the morning and love in the evening. Love the whole day through. The greatest of all is to love and be loved. We're so blessed to be loved by you. So blessed to be loved by you.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and informed.
Jesus. blessed, pleasant evening to you. We want to welcome you to our program, The Law and You. Wow. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And of course, our program on second and fourth Mondays, our immigration program, The Law and You, with our very own immigration attorney, Georgia Lawrence, right here in the beautiful state of Georgia in the United States of America. And she's here with us this evening. Of course, I'm facilitator. Attorney's going to do her thing. As always, please call your family and friends, everybody that you know in any one of the 50 states that we have here in the United States of America. Yes, including the two abroad, the 48 contiguous, the two abroad, even those who are back home in their islands or on their islands, and you know they have immigration matters that they're looking into. You need to call them this evening and wait until she tells you the topic. Then that is when you know you're going to need to call Ray Ray and Pookie and everybody that you know wants to come to America. All right. So she's here this evening and she has something delicious for us to feast on. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the host of the program, The Law and You, none other than our very own attorney, Georgia Lawrence. Come on, guys. Make her welcome. Yeah. Go right ahead. Hopefully we can hear. Can you hear me? Oh, wait a minute. I think I muted you. Did I? There you go now. Now I'm hearing you.
How are you?
I am doing well. I just came off spring break, so I think I was well rested. Not
Awesome.
anymore.
Where did you go?
To my bed. I spent a lot of time in my bed.
Hey, rest is always good. Rest is always good.
And to the computer, the bed and to the computer, because I got, stuff that I'm working at always. I'm always productive, so I'm always doing that. But when I tell you, attorney, because I'm usually up early mornings to go to school, I'm telling you 9 o'clock until I turn off the alarm for the week. And I got me some good rest. And I did some housework. Because, we women, we always want to change up when the seasons change. Sometimes we want to do
cleaning.
Yes, we got to do a little spring cleaning, a whole lot of spring cleaning. So I did quite a bit of that. And then you walk in the house and you can breathe like, oh, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Feeling of peace. Yeah, I love a clean house.
Me too. I love when I walk in my kitchen and everything is in place. I don't like clutter. I like white stuff around me, so yes. So
yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Thank you. So how are you doing?
Doing good. Kind of suffering a little bit from allergies. I'm not sure where you're at, but over on this side of town is really bad.
Yes.
Like outside the door, we have to wash off the porch.
Yep.
Even where I have like my grill, I have to wash it off. So right now I take allergy medicine every day. If you look at my eyes, it's still a little bit swollen.
Mm-hmm.
I have days where I get up and I can't even see properly. So I have this eye drop that I use every day. So I like the change in season, but I really don't like spring because of the pollen.
Well, I have that problem too. I'm normally in hives from the crown of my head to the very sole of, literally. My entire body's in hives. But I think somewhat last year, I didn't get any of that, neither this year. And I am attributing it to the mask wearing because I don't see that. I drive a red car. And when I'm leaving work during the days, good thing I know my license plate because when I get out, it's green. My vehicle is green. The first time when I just moved to Georgia, I was shocked when I saw the green cars. I was like, what on earth is that? Because moving here from Connecticut and New York, I never really saw pollen. And it was something to behold in Georgia. My chairs outside are green. The porch is green. The deck is green. So I know what you're talking about.
It's bad. Like I still can't get used to it. And then in Florida.
Yes.
I didn't have this. I think in Tampa, it was probably there, but not so much.
Not so
Not
much.
so much. Like you're talking about your car. Like I went outside yesterday and I was looking at my car. The inside is clean, but
Yes.
the outside is green. I'm like,
Green.
it makes no sense to even wash the car
No.
because as soon as you wash it, it's gonna be in the same state in a few minutes.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
All right. So you go ahead and tell the folks what we're going to talk about. I'm going to take a call
All
and come back.
righty. So welcome everyone. We appreciate you joining us this evening. Hopefully you have questions because I don't have a lot prepared. But this evening I want to talk about different student visas. Like a lot of people reach out to me and ask me like how their family member could get into the United States, especially young individuals trying to like continue schools and so forth. So I'm going to talk briefly about 3 different types of visas that you can use to get into the United States. If you're trying to like study or do some work, the criteria you have to meet to get these visas and some of the requirements. And hopefully you will have some questions for us. So the first one is and I think this is the most popular of the 3, is the F1 student visa. And a lot of people after high school, they may ask you about studying in the United States, and this is the one that I normally suggest. So what I do in our office is that we will go through a checklist and basically find out if this type of visa is something that you could qualify for, and if it makes sense based on what you're trying to come to the United States to do, because it will be shown in your application as well as the interview process, because for this visa is one of them where you have to go through the embassy as well. So yeah, this is a study visa and you must be studying at an academic institution, not a training or vocational school. And you will see the difference between the F visa and the M visa, where the M is for training and vocational school. So you may have, say you have an uncle in the United States who is a mechanic, and he can get some sort of certification. You won't be able to study with that person. It has to be an approved academic institution, and it makes sense financially if you're coming here to study at a college or a university. So you can look at the 2 years level or the 4 years level, and we'll get into details why that makes sense. And this institution has to be approved by the Department of Homeland Security. So I know on this show, we talk a lot about family-based immigration and little about employment-based. Well, this kind of falls under the employment-based category. And the reason being is that normally when you're finished studying on this particular visa, you may want to get a job in the United States, continue your studies, or eventually you want some sort of employment. So this kind of falls under the employment-based category. So the institution must be approved with the Department of Homeland Security through what we call the Student Exchange and Visitor Program. And you'd hear some people SAVP, same thing. So all that means it has to be accredited to be able to accept foreign students on the F1 visa. And there's a whole screening process that these institutions have to go through with the Department of Homeland Security before they're qualified. This is similar to getting a labor certification in the case of most employment-based visas like the EB3s and the H1 visas. And we'll talk some more about those on other shows as well. So with this, basically, there's certain restrictions with the F1 visa, like coming in to work, as in how long you can work, where you can work, and so forth. And one very good thing about this visa is that your children and spouse may be able to come with you on this F1 visa, and they will come in under a category called F2. But the only drawback to that is they will not be able to work. So if, for instance, you're coming in as a student on an F1 visa, your spouse will not be able to work. But if you have children, those children can be enrolled in school, and whatever you do will be impact them because they're essentially tied to your visa. So if you lose your status or something goes wrong, then it will impact them as well. So there are certain eligibility and requirements for the F1 visa. You have to first apply and be accepted into one of these approved institutions that we talk about, where they're approved under the Department of Homeland Security. And the good thing is these aren't just universities, so they aren't just 4 years worth of programs, but this could also be high schools. But I normally tell people, like, it's better to come at the college level because of the finances involved. And you must be enrolled full-time with this institution, and you must be proficient in English language or enrolled in courses leading to English proficiency. So that's one of the questions that we get asked a lot too. What if you're coming from a country where English is not the first language? You have to be enrolled in some sort of courses where you'll be proficient at English language. I have Jamaican clients who come on the F1 visa, and for them it's better because Jamaica is an English speaking country, and then you have courses like the CXC examinations where you can do the English language certification and show that you're proficient in the subject, so you will be exempted when it comes to this portion of it. And then you have to show proof that you have sufficient funds to support your study in the United States. And this is what caused a hiccup for a lot of people, because you do have smart children from a lot of foreign countries, and they can apply and easily get accepted for these universities. But a lot of times being able to show that you're able to support yourself during school, that's where the hurdle is. And for some, what it means is getting a sponsor, and they do accept sponsorship where that person would complete what is called a financial affidavit, basically saying that they're going to pay for you throughout your studies. And normally before you get that visa, with showing that you're able to pay for your studies, you have to, it will include housing, food, and whatever expenses you may have. So say, for instance, the tuition is $15,000 for the semester. You may have to show like 30 because they're going to include your housing and your food. And it makes sense because they want to ensure that you're not going to come to the United States and then you won't be able to support yourself, which will mean you'll have to work or you're going to be dependent on the state in some sort of way. So that is the reason for them putting on the excessive amount. And you have to show ties to your home country. That is, you have to show that you intend to return home. And there are ways to do this. Normally, if you're working with an attorney, they will do a whole coaching program before you even go to the interview to show intent to the country. And it's not difficult. Normally, it includes things like showing that you have family members in your home country. I mean, if you're in school, maybe you don't have a job, but say, for instance, if your parents has businesses and you're next in line, you have bank account, you may have like wife, kids, husband, kids, whatever the case may be. So those show strong ties to the country. And you have a lot of cases where people are specific about what they're coming to the United States to do. For instance, I have a colleague who is actually studying something in economics, and he's doing it because he wants to get into Jamaican politics. So most of what he's studying, even here in the United States, is tied to the Caribbean country, brain drain, and some of the things that are affecting the Caribbean economically. So that kind of shows that he has an intent of returning home. So it can be a lengthy process, but it's not hard. The visa portion of it actually starts after you get an acceptance letter or an enrollment offer to these universities or colleges, if that's the case.
I have a question for you on the F1 visa that we're
Yeah, go
discussing.
ahead.
You mentioned having to prove that you're proficient in English. And you also mentioned like the CXC proficiency test, something to that matter. Now, my question is, even though the United States of America know that Jamaica is an English country, that's our mother tongue, that's our language, do they still require Jamaicans? If I have somebody wanting to come from Jamaica to study here, will that person have to prove that they're proficient in English?
That's a good question. So if you're coming from a country like Jamaica, English speaking, no,
Oh,
because
good.
they
Okay.
know. But what I was saying is that if you're able to prove have certain certifications like the CXC, that's good for you too. But they'll know. This normally applies to people like say you're coming from China.
Yeah, or Haiti.
And with that, you have to be enrolled in a program where after a specific period of time, you're going to be able to show proficiency in the English language.
Is there a particular reason for that, though?
Yes,
Considering that you're going back to your country?
and when you think about it, that question does make sense. But the thing is, the United States is an English-speaking country, and it's even the same thing with most immigration documents now. I'm sure that a lot of times, if you're applying for a job, you'll notice that they ask if you're bilingual, or they'll say like most immigration jobs, they'll say Spanish is a must. And you wonder like, okay, it's an English speaking country. They want everything they ask for in English. Then why are they so focused on the foreign languages? But because it's an English speaking country, and there is debates around the country right now where people are saying they should consider Spanish a second language. But even with immigration, you cannot submit documents that are in another language unless you submit the translation, and you have to get those translations certified. So
Yes.
that's just something that we have to deal with, and getting approved for a school is no exception.
Okay. Kind of doesn't make sense to me. If I was gonna stay here, I mean, I don't make the rules, but I'm thinking if I'm proving that I'm going back home, then what do you really care? Let me come study what I need to study, because I'm going back home. Number one, I'll never be able to speak English. I'm not enrolled in an English proficiency class. So that means I will never be able to stay in this country to get jobs. So I won't take American jobs. So I got to go back home.
They don't look at it that way. And then for like most like colleges or universities, you have to remember too, even if the being enrolled in the English proficiency course, that's just a matter of time. So say for instance, it's 4 years. All 4 years, you're not going to be doing that course. So even if it's a case where you're studying international studies, political science, criminology, whatever it may be, you're still going to be involved in English speaking classes.
Right.
So
yeah,
I
makes
guess that's
sense.
why they do it.
Okay. And are you done with the F1 visas yet, or you still?
No, just a few more stuff on it just to ensure that I cover all the.
Okay, well, I'll save my next question just in case you're about to talk about
If
that.
it's about the F1, you can go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to know because you mentioned earlier that it is it's based, the children and the spouse, they're tied to that person who is the beneficiary of the F1 visa, the person who's here as the student, the academic student. But the spouse cannot work, is not allowed to work. So which means if you're bringing your family with you, is there a different threshold you have to meet when it comes to finances as opposed to a person who is coming without family?
Yeah.
There
So say
is?
for instance, all right, let me use an example. I did a client a few months ago. Let me use this example.
Mm-hmm.
You're in University of California, just using
Mm-hmm.
that as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And you're coming by yourself, and the tuition is $14,000. With housing and everything, you have to show 25,000. Each
Wow.
additional beneficiary, you have to show an extra 5,000. And that's the requirement for that school. So schools will vary, but typically it's that amount. You have to
Wow.
show how you're gonna take care of that person, especially because if it's a spouse, they're not allowed to work.
Are you allowed to work as a student?
Yes, and I'm gonna get into that
Okay.
because there are tight restrictions on that.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
All right. So we spoke about getting into school, and getting into school involves the same process like if you were in your home country. So applying, if you need to apply for a scholarship, submit your transcript, submit your identification information, proof of academic awards, whatever you need to do to boost your application and get into the school. So you got into school, kudos. Now it's time for the F1 visa process. So after you get approved in the school, then the student and exchange visa information system use what we call a SEVIS to track and monitor the school exchange visas program. And this is for all three, F, M, and J. So you have to pay a SEVIS fee. And so it's basically a tracker. Once you register, then you pay a I-901 fee. And that can range like typically like $350.
Oh.
And then that's when the approved school, so you have to be registered first. And that's when the school will issue you your form I-120. And if you talk to any international student, they could give you the spill on this because this is something you have to get. Without this, you can't get the visa.
Wow.
So this form is extremely, extremely important. It's the form that you'll take to the embassy and show them that you got into the school. The school has approved you to get the F1 visa. It's the form that you'll use if you're going out of the country, coming in the country. Like, it's almost like a passport. It's, as an international student, I would say this is the most important form you're gonna have in your hand. It does a lot, like it has the, and I'm sorry I didn't print out a copy to like show you, but it has even the signatures, like times when you can travel, when you have work authorization, when you start, when you complete the program, the information for your international advisor in case something should happen and they find this information. So it's almost like a passport in and out of the United States that you also use for identification and so forth. So
Okay.
service, the form I-120, that's your Bible as an international student. So after that, now once this is issued, that's what you will take to the United States Embassy to apply for the F1 visa. And this is done in your home country. Now, the steps that you take at the embassy, it varies by country, but mostly what I see is the same thing like applying for a regular visitor's visa, where you fill out the application, pay the fee that you need to pay, you get your date for the interview, and then you go to the interview, and the time that you get normally depends on the time of the year and the location and when you need to get in school. Now, it is important to note that the F1 visa for a new student can only be issued up to 120 days in advance of the start date of the course. So you cannot get the I-120 and then you decide that you don't want to start school until 2 years later. It's something that you have 120 days to handle your business, get in the country, start school.
So you got to make sure you got all your funds and everything. Let me put
Yeah,
myself
and
on. Got to make
it's
sure.
sad because I'm telling you, that's like the number one hurdle. Like I have a lot of people who are very smart. They'll get in, they may not get enough scholarship money because scholarship is also limited to international students.
Yes.
And a lot of times, like these scholarship programs, they'll tell you straight up, like, you have to be a United States citizen. So with the restrictions, these students, they need extra funding, and because they're not able to show certain things, they don't get in. And truthfully, if they come and I know they're smart enough, and if it's based on merit, they would probably pass even some students that are here.
Yes.
But unfortunately, because of the money, they don't get to come in. And that's why I'll always be an advocate for education, but at the same time, I'll say like the playing field is not level.
So you go,
Not level.
you get this visa. Is there a guarantee when you get here, you get off that plane? Do you go through the same process with immigration here as everybody else that is coming in the country? I mean, that they do with them? Or is there a guarantee? Let me tell you why I ask you that. Because I've seen people with visitor's visa, they get into this country and they're taken into a room, they're being processed, and they're being put right back on that plane and sent back home to Jamaica. Now,
Okay.
after going through all of this, is there a guarantee that you'll be let in? I mean, providing you didn't bring drugs and anything, you're pretty clean.
Okay, nothing is ever guaranteed.
Okay.
That's the first thing. When it comes to immigration, I never say I guarantee anything. But the F1 visa, I would say, is one of the easiest way. And I'm not, because I'm going to get into something after this, but F1 visa is one of the easiest way to get in, because of the intent requirement and the proof of certain things that you have to show, like finances. And then if you get in on the F1 visa, like, and I've had people who asked me this before, like they figure out everything, they show the funds and all that. Now, when you get here, do you have to go to school? Yes, you have to. On that I-94, you will see as a F1, it has D/S during status.
Okay.
So the visa is only valid once you're in status. So if it's a case where you decide to violate your visa, then you're out of status, AKA you're illegal in the country.
Wow.
Yes. So it's not, so saying that is guarantee, I wouldn't say that, but like you're saying, as long as you're clean, you have all your ducks in a row, I don't see why they would send you back, because, and that's why I said that I-120 is so important, because it's going to have your start date, your program. If anything, they have the international advisor information. They can call up that person real quick, find out what's going on. And you should have all your documents. So you have your passport, your birth certificate, your program of study, have your contact information for the person here, know where you're going to stay. So as long as your story lines up and there's no issue as to your intent with coming in the United States, I don't see why there should be an issue. I've never heard of anybody having an issue where they're getting sent back, except the other day with the whole travel ban, that Trump travel ban.
Yes.
And that was because of the whole terrorist movement and whatever, all that drama that was going on the other day. So with that, a lot of people who were on student visas, they were getting sent home. Some people couldn't be allowed in. They were worried, and you heard it was something big in the news.
Yes.
But aside from that, I've never heard of anything where you're straight, you're coming here to study, and you've had an issue. I've never had an F1 visa denied. Never.
Wow, good for you.
So
wow.
yeah, so I would say, as long as you have all your documents right. And see, truthfully, I think the United States, even though you have people who are anti-immigrants, like employees and so forth understand the value of having foreign nationals in the country. We're hardworking for the most part. Most time we understand what it means to live in struggle, and we're really coming here for a better life.
Right.
And because of that, they understand our intention. And for the most part, people want to go home, especially if they're interested in things like politics or certain science, where they really have that mindset to go home and help their people. So what the intent isn't an issue, I don't see why someone would be sent home. Do you know anybody that has been in that position?
No, I don't. But I just wanted to know because after spending all that amount of money, you know, I wouldn't want to know that I spent all that amount of money and then when you get, because it's always at the discretion. This is what I've learned over the years.
Yeah.
Your acceptance in the United States of America is always at the discretion of that immigration officer that you meet. That's why I
Yes.
always say, wives, be kind to your husband because some of us depend on their grace when we get off that flight. And if
Yeah.
you did not take care of him and he goes to work grumpy, then we get the end of the stick when we get off that plane. So women, please be nice to your husband, and men, vice versa, please, because we do have female immigration employees as well.
True.
So yes, because
It's true.
let me tell you, I have a family member. He did not come here on a student visa. Actually, I went to Jamaica. You know, Jamaicans, they graduate earlier than the American kids. So
Yeah.
this is actually my family member. And I went to Jamaica and he had already graduated. So there he is. My son is about to graduate in May, but my son was born January and this family member was born May, the same year. So my son is older than him by a few months. But he graduated at, I think, 16, 17 in Jamaica. And my son now had a whole nother year in school here. So this family member was already out of school. So I went to Jamaica and I was coming back. I bought a ticket. I said, come on, because I wanted to come to my son's graduation. You know, they're close and stuff like that. And when we got off the plane in Fort Lauderdale,
From the USA.
oh, I'm sorry. When we got off the plane in Fort Lauderdale, the immigration officer, who seemed to be of Indian descent, he started to question. I carry a U.S. passport. And so he was, you know, with me with a Jamaican passport. And I'm responding for him, really. We're both talking. And
Yeah.
so he said, how long do you plan to stay? So I said, I really wanted him to be here for his cousin, which is my son's graduation in May. And he turned to him and he said, May? So why are you not in school? Because he realized this is, you know, if he was in America, the age. So we
Yeah.
both answered at the same time and he said, I graduated. And I said, he's graduated from school. And the man put what he was doing down because he had my passport and my nephew's passport and turned his eyes and looked at us like he thought that we planned a good lie to tell him.
Wow. Mhm.
And I am saying that Jamaica, I'm trying to explain to him. I said, Jamaica is different. I said, I graduated high school when I was 15 and I turned 16 the following month after graduation. And I guess I dug a deeper hole because the man is looking at me like, oh, no, you're really lying.
Yeah.
And there was nothing we could say to him to convince him that my nephew had already graduated high school and was about going into the working world. I wanted him to just come, stay a little bit longer for my son's graduation and go back home. And he gave us this nice smile, and he stamped, you know, the 6 months in the passport, and we went on our way. My nephew stayed here and he went home before 6 months. I think it was like 4 months and then he went home.
Yeah.
And did you know that when he went to the embassy in Jamaica a couple years later to renew his visa, they did not give it to him because that man flagged him in the system.
Oh
He flagged him
wow.
in the system, and they did not renew his visa. And he's trying to study to be a pilot. He wasn't coming here to do that anyways. He really wanted to do that down the line, so he would have come back here to do that. But they flagged him. Today he's working
So
as a customs officer in Jamaica. But he's still flagged in the system, even though he's a Jamaican customs officer. He's still flagged in the system. They haven't given him back the visa.
so when he tried to get the visa the second time, was it he tried to get a student visa or
No, no, no,
when
not just a regular visa. But I asked
okay,
that question because, as I say, you're at the mercy of the
that's true.
immigration officer. So anything they put in that system can stop you. So when you come here with your F1 visa, I'm wondering if he has a bad day, if he can just say no, regardless of the fact that you pay all that money, if he can just use his bad day attitude and just like like he did. I think his wife didn't take care of him the night before. And my
Yeah,
nephew,
I would trouble him.
something went on with him. All right. And I'm saying, America is not the only place. They need to educate themselves and don't believe that everybody is lying. And not everybody stay in school until they're 18. In
Yeah.
Jamaica, at 17
But
years old, we
see,
got work
that's
to do.
where knowledge of the different countries come in.
Yes.
And even as a foreign national coming in, sometimes these things happen, but you still have to be respectful and try to like explain your way out. Like I have clients who they may not be in a certain situation. Probably it's a case where they even have a travel document and they're just waiting on their permanent residency card.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, or let me not tell them, I advise them, don't travel.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is that maybe their story is so jacked up. It's like if a customs officer should really start asking you certain questions, you won't be able to articulate it properly where it doesn't seem like you're lying.
Right.
So
Right.
just to be on the safe side, stay put. And it's
Right.
the same thing. Like you just have to know your immigration story, understand your basis for coming in, ensure your intent is clear, and pray for the best. Now, in that case, yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, and I think it's just a human thing where sometimes we're not in a good mood. We have something going on with somebody else, your spouse or
True.
whoever, and you take
Children.
out your problems on other people, which is unfortunate, but it happens.
Yes, it does.
It happens.
It does.
But I would say that if you're coming, your intent is clear, you have all your documents lined up.
Yes.
It
Yes.
shouldn't be a case where they tell you no, because you can ask why.
Okay.
You can ask why. So I'm sure they can't say, oh, we're not gonna let you in. We just don't feel like letting you in. Like
Okay.
that would be a dumb excuse and cause for some problems, because that could probably be like a discrimination case there
Yes.
or something of the sort that you're looking at now. But that doesn't mean they can come up with something to say that you did or said something
True.
that's a red flag to them, and they say, okay, you can't. So
Mm-hmm.
hey, I believe in prayer. So in cases like those, I just say like, you're good, you have
Stay
everything
prayerful.
lined up, pray and keep it moving.
That's right. I got another question for you. Am I allowed to
Yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
another question? All right. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you've never received a denial for an F1 visa.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my question. A visa is given outside of the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a visa. You practice here. So that's why I'm wondering, can people on the outside say, I'm in Jamaica? Can I retain you to represent me even though you're here? Is that allowed? How did you get to represent somebody for an F1 visa, really? I'm trying to figure.
Most of my clients, truthfully, are not in the United States.
Oh, so you practice outside as well?
Yeah, most of my
Okay.
clients, when I say that, because immigration is federal,
Yes.
it could be outside, and then you have foreign nationals trying to come in. So them trying to come in, yes, sometimes I reach out to United States attorneys. So I have
Okay.
most of my clients are Jamaican clients.
Okay, good.
So yes,
It's good to know. Okay.
it's the same process where you retain an attorney. I walk you through the process. Now, as far as like traveling and accompanying you certain places,
Yes.
I may not be able to do that, but I walk you through the process.
Mhm.
So yes, if you have a case, you're outside of the United States, you're trying to get in. Yeah, I can assist you with that.
And
as
how
well.
can they contact you right now? I need you to tell them that. 'Cause-
Yes, same information. So you can send me an email, public email, georgialaw21@gmail.com. Have our website, georgialawrence.com, or go on our business Facebook, Georgia Lawrence LLC.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes,
And of
ma'am.
course, we I love to play this right here, so just hang in there with me. I got to get this up and going. This is attorney Georgia Lawrence, and this is exactly what she does. She takes care of you.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
That's right. Get in touch with the beautiful attorney Georgia Lawrence, and she will help to navigate you through this whole immigration process. Want to say good evening to Marcia Dawson, who's listening in, and she's sending a shout out at us, attorney. Good evening, Marcia Dawson. Joe Jarrett Grant, good evening. We have quite a number of people who are actually listening in, incognito, of course. They don't want to come in, but that's okay. Basically, this program, is mostly listening. People are listening in, they're calling up their loved ones, listen to this. So we might not find a lot of questions being asked, but I want to say hello to all those that are listening in incognito. Then we have Whitfield Bavel. Good evening to you, Whitfield. Denise Panther, sending a shout out your way. And Junior Bernard, thank you so much for writing in. Junior is in Liberia, and he says he's watching from Liberia. So good evening again to you guys. And here goes attorney Georgia Lawrence to continue the program.
Hey, thank you for listening. And we have people from a lot of places. I appreciate it. And hey, share the information. You may not need it, but someone may need it. So share the information.
And if they do have a question.
Yes, and if you have a question, feel free. It's on my Facebook page, Georgia Lawrence LLC, as well as Dr. Monica's page. So go ahead and post your question. Also on YouTube.
Yeah.
So go ahead, send us your question, and we'll try to see if there's something we can answer now. If not, we'll research, do what we need to do, and we'll figure it out together.
All right, and before we run along,
So-
let me just say hello one moment to the TuneIn family. We got those that are listening in. They're just ardent listeners. They only listen, they don't view. So TuneIn Radio, Nobex Radio, Online Radio Box, and those who are on their gadgets, and those who are with us at www.caribbeangospelradiofm.com. Thank you so much. Don't forget that you can post your questions here, and I'll read them for attorney to answer them for you. www.caribbeangospelradiofm.com for those who don't want to do social media. Thank you so much. Go ahead, attorney.
Alrighty, so yeah, we're talking about different visas that you can use to get into the United States, specifically, oh, I cannot talk tonight. Specifically, you know, some people can't say that word. They say specifically. You know that?
They
You
do,
ever heard that?
yeah, specifically,
Listen,
something.
specifically.
I know. It's
You know,
all right.
I feel like every time we're on this show, we have a new word, but I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say specifically.
A
All
new
right,
word? You said a new word?
what was the last time we had what? Removing.
Removing.
All right. So specifically, studying in the United States. So we're looking at the F1 visa, and for some reason, I did say I don't have a lot of time tonight, so we might not make it to 8. But I guess I talk a lot, so we are there.
It's
All right,
7:22.
so
It's 7:22, and you only did the F1. You haven't
yeah,
touched the
so
other
I
two.
need to finish up the F1 real quick.
So you got time.
There, we don't have any questions here, but I have 4 common questions that I see a lot of times. And one answers Dr. Monica's earlier question about working. Now, with the F1 visa, you cannot work off campus during your first academic year. And if you've gone through college, you understand how important that first year is in really like navigating the course, figuring out what college life is, figuring out your personal life. So it makes sense. And in some schools, for instance, I know the University of South Florida, unless there are exceptional circumstances, you're expected to stay on campus that first year.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a case where they want you to have that college experience or whatever the case may be, but that's expected.
Wow.
And you may accept on-campus employment, but with the F1, that's subject to various conditions and restrictions. So one of them, for instance, is you're only allowed 20 hours to work while you're on that visa. Now, there are 3 ways that you can get employment when you're on F1. You have CPT, or curricular practical training. You have OPT, optical practical training, and then you have the STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, OPT. And they all have like different criteria and what you're allowed to do. What most people you're familiar with is the OPT. And this is the 1 year after you complete the program, you're allowed to work 1 year. And normally this will lead to some sort of like permanent position where you'll apply for one of the H visas. And on one of the shows, we'll talk about that. That's a whole different subject in and of itself. But you get a chance to work here permanently, and that's when your intent change. But for those visas, you're allowed to have dual intent. For the F1, just one. You're allowed to work, study rather, and go back home. But when you step over into those H categories, it's dual intent. Now,
So wait there, attorney. So that 20 hour that they limit you to, or they afford you that opportunity to work 20 hours. Is that limited only to campus, or you get a work permit that you can work anywhere that will hire you?
it is campus or school affiliated. So let me give you an example. Say, for instance, you're working at the admissions office, the bookstore, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But say the school is involved in research program. Let me use USF because I went to USF, University of South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, go Bulls. So
that's right, girl.
say, what is saying here? Go Bulls.
Go
So
Bulls.
say, for instance, it's known for the science program. So say, for instance, you want to be a part of like some research outside of the campus, but it's still university affiliated, then yes, because that's through the university. Same thing like, for instance, you want to tutor with the football team. It may be a whole different organization, but because it's university affiliated, you're allowed to do it. Now, there are special circumstances like certain hardships that will qualify you to work off campus. For instance, say for instance, you have a death in the family, or where your circumstances change drastically, the person who signed up to be your sponsor took ill, they aren't able to do it anymore, then you can write to USCIS. And that's where, because a lot of people, you can navigate the F1 process yourself for the most part. But when it comes to these extreme circumstances, I would recommend that you get an attorney, because the attorney can assist you with getting an employment authorization card. And then this card will allow you to work off campus. But again, there's certain restrictions with how much you can work and the length of time that you'll be allowed to work off campus. And normally it depends on your circumstances. And that's why a lot of times you need an attorney who understands the process, because again, this is a niche area and a lot of attorneys don't understand the whole process of like how to word even to get this sort of authorization to get you a certain period of time where you're allowed to work off campus because of a specific hardship.
Okay.
So yeah, that varies. And then the other question is, people ask about taxes. Now, I'm not a tax specialist, so don't take this as legal advice. By the way, you shouldn't be taking anything as legal advice, because like every situation varies. This is just general information. But as far as taxes go, normally, I mean, you don't have a job really, or if you do, it's something simple where you should be able to use one of those simple, TurboTax or simple software to file your taxes. But you are required to file taxes. And even if you're not working, you're still required to file taxes. And based on what I've seen, say for instance, you're working and they withhold $1,100 because you're not considered permanent, you'll get your money back. So you'll get whatever they withhold back. So as far as like owing taxes and getting that deep into it, I'm not a tax specialist. I don't know. I can refer you to one of my colleagues who will be better able to address these issues.
So you'll be assigned. So you'll be assigned a number then, that you like how we have one Social Security.
Working, you'll get a social, and this is how a lot of people on F1 get like their driver's license stuff. Like they'll get a little job on campus. That way, they'll take it to the Social Security Administration, get a number. They can go out, get an ID card, driver's license. Yes, and once you have that number, that's yours for you to keep. And that's why you end up having people who, even after they're finished with the program, they stay here out of status and they're still able to work because they do have a social. It's not legal, but they do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, another question is, people ask about what if they want to change schools. It's you are allowed to transfer, but the big thing is you can only transfer to the school we spoke about earlier, so they have to be SEVP certified schools.
Okay.
And this involves a lot of paperwork where normally the international office at another school will have to send documents to the international office at another school. They'll have to change your service record.
Wow.
So they'll keep a track, but you are allowed to transfer. And it can't just be a case where you're transferring for silly reasons. So that's something you need to look into. And then the big question, people will come, like you're saying, in Jamaica, you're young, finished high school, 17, you're excited, you want to get into college, you come to college. Oh, when you're done, you're going to go back home, you're going to change the world. But when you come, circumstances change.
Right.
It may be a case where you fall in love with the place. You have certain ties here now, you don't want to leave. You may fall in love, you may want to stay, which that's another topic where you have ways you can stay that way. But the thing is, unless you transfer to where you get another visa that allows you to stay, or you continue with school, something that is known to immigration, you're not allowed to stay. So this all depends on your individual program, depend on your circumstances, field of study, as well as your professional background. So if you ask me the question, can I stay after I'm finished with my studies? My answer is, it depends. So there are a lot of things to look into, but a lot of people would like to stay after they're done with the.
So what if your mom is
F1.
here?
Sorry. Pardon me?
What if your mom is here and just want to change status? Or what if they get married to their sweetheart? If your mom is
here and you're under 21, then your mom could petition for you depending on her circumstances, and in a short time you may get through. Or even if you're over 21 and you may get through, but you know, being over 21 considered an adult is going to take a long time, truthfully years, so sometimes it doesn't make sense. So there are ways to do it, and I've had clients, and again, that's why I say sometimes it's best you sit down with an attorney who understands the process and tell them your story, and they can like figure out ways. Because for instance, I've had clients who the daughter was here in 2018, studying. The mom is here on a green card. So the mom petitions for the daughter. Because of her category, she would probably take a little while. The mom becomes a U.S. citizen. So there, what you do now, you notify USCIS, okay, the petitioner is now a U.S. citizen. So it speeds up the process. So by the time that daughter is finished with school in 4 years, it will be approved. So you're approved, you can just go ahead and adjust, bam, you have a green card. So there are ways to do it. You just have to figure it out based on your circumstances.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So let me jump ship real quick, and we're gonna talk about the M visa. So let me take a sip. All right. So the M visa is similar, but a little bit different from the F1 visa. But again, it's another way to come in on a program of study. This one is for non-academic or vocational studies. I like to use example of technical programming like mechanic. And for the M visa, you must show evidence the same way that you have enough funds to be able to pay for school as well as your costs to live in the United States. And with this one, you must have a goal. And when I say have a goal, it involves a full course of study. So normally this is in like a community or a junior college with at least 12 semesters. And for that, it's the same thing where you charge tuition, you're considered full-time. And the only exception to this is where you may need a smaller course of study. And again, for this, it requires some approval. And you know, like how you have Jamaica Sixth Form? Hello?
Yes, I'm here trying to.
Oh, you're here. Yeah, it's almost like that. So you're done with high school. For some reason, I can't see you sometimes, so I'm talking to the screen.
It's okay. I'm here. All right, I stay on with you. I was just trying to pop some. You were drinking, so I was trying to eat some coconut cashew crunch back here. It's okay.
I want some.
I'll get you some.
But so for this, it's the same thing where like you're done with high school, and say, for instance, you're going to sixth form in Jamaica. I don't know what they call it in other countries, probably like junior high or community college, whatever it is.
Okay.
But normally this is where the M visa falls in, and it's the same process like going through and getting the like we spoke about with getting the F1 visa. And there are different admissions policies, so that's something that you would need to look into to see. But with this one too, I believe you have that restriction where, as it relates to work, There are certain restrictions for that one. I have to look into it somewhere. I don't do a lot of M visas. I think I've only done like 2. One was for a religious school. The young man was studying at this Bible college in Tampa.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know much. And
So
then you
that's
have the F1 visa. This is becoming way more popular than we think. Not the F1, the J1.
the
Way
J1.
more popular. Have you ever heard of that one?
The J1 visa?
Yeah.
No, I don't
Yeah,
think
you
so.
have a
No.
lot of teachers in the United
Oh,
States.
that's what they
Yeah.
come on.
So I have someone in our office now who she's only handling J1. So
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
I
a rush.
oversee the process, but she does most of the work as it relates to the J1 visa. They're becoming way more popular than we can.
Okay,
Soon we'll be in competition with the F1.
I'm
So
looking
for
at it.
this one, and I think since I went into so much detail, so the big thing is
Mm-hmm.
F1 and the M1 is similar.
Okay.
Difference vocational school. With the J1 now, you have some differences. So what I'm gonna do is I've prepared a chart. So let me pull it up.
So while you're pulling that up, so say for example, University of Florida would fall in the F1 category. That's one of the schools. But
Yeah.
a cosmetology school would fall in the M1 category, right?
Yeah, and it has to be approved. So it has to be an
Right.
approved school. Yeah.
Right. But just say
Yeah.
say Mademoiselle School of Cosmetology is on that list. But I wouldn't find that on the F1 list. That would be more. I'm just trying to figure what the vocational studies
Like
is.
when you think about getting like a degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, F1. When you think about like getting some sort of certification, M1.
Okay. So let me ask you, where would this fall? My nephew wants to be a pilot.
F1.
So he's F1. Okay.
F1 because I don't know what the aviation, probably like a degree in aviation, something
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So yeah, because to be a pilot, I think you have to have a degree, right?
I don't know. I really don't
think
know.
so.
I just, well, maybe, but I remember when I went to that university and was looking at it, they were more talking about how much cents per second or whatever for flight hours. So I
Oh.
don't know what it is that they're going to get.
I
'Cause
mean,
you go straight
the mo-
into flight school.
From where did he go? From high school?
Yeah, well, he didn't actually pursue it, but we went to it was in Louisiana, one of those universities that offer aviation. So it's just like in Jamaica when you go to teachers college, you're basically training to become a teacher. So that was our understanding. So everything that he did would be surrounding aviation, and they have one of the biggest aviation programs in the country. So I don't know if he would come out
I
with
know
a degree or
there's
what.
one right there before you reach Kingston, Norman Manley International.
Really?
Yeah, I
flight
know
school?
there's a school over there, but
Oh.
I don't know how you get into it. Like, I would think it's something where you're going through a bachelor's degree program or something of the sort. I don't know.
Okay. So it might
Yeah,
be
but
an
that-
F1 then. It might be an
Yeah.
F1.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that sounds more like an academic
Academic,
program because when I was in school, I remember people who wanted to be pilot, they would talk about physics and engineering course. So
Calculus, math.
yeah, I would think that it's an academic program.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
You're right.
But I can look into it to be sure though.
All right. So this J1 that you were talking about, tell me a little bit more about it.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is with the chart that I have a comparison
Yes.
with the J1 and the F1 so you'll understand it better.
Okay.
So the first thing is to be eligible for the J1, at least 50% of your financial source must be from a source other than personal or family fund. And I'm trying to think of the name. This there is this, it's like a scholarship program that's very popular. Yeah. I
Here
can't
in
remember the name.
here in America?
Yeah, all over the world, you have a lot. It's not international amnesty. It's this program. So, like,
I
say
don't
for
know.
instance, you're the winner of that award,
Mm-hmm.
then they're gonna fund your studies. So you would come in on a J1. If I think of the name, I'll say.
Wow.
But right now, I
I don't
just
know.
don't
I've had to
remember.
pay for everything that I ever had. I,
So,
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
but you have like the support can be in the form of scholarships,
Uh-huh.
fellowships, or assistantship from an external funding such as your home government, corporate sponsor, or the university. So if you're only paying for it from personal or family funds, then it's not a J1 visa. That can't be the case. You have to have some sort of sponsorship. So like, okay, perfect example. A lot of people probably can relate to this. Those teaching assistants in universities?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes.
And okay.
You have a lot of those people who they're on J1 visas. So
Okay.
they're studying, but they're studying at the same time they're assisting like a professor or a particular department. So they're getting funds from that department. So that funding plus their personal money, that's how they're paying for school. Most times, well, let me not say most times, but some of those students may have a J1 visa.
So what about like an au pair? You're in another country and you come here, you are probably doing something else and helping to take care of a child. Now, some of that funds are gonna come from your the parents of that child or the children you're taking care of. Would it be something like that as well too? Would that qualify?
No, normally it's a case where it's connected to the academic program. So if it's a
Okay.
scholarship, fellowship, externship, or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But are you talking about something where, like, say you have a baby, I'm coming to take care of your baby while I'm in school? Oh, no.
Well, I'm talking
Because-
about the legal ones, where they go through like agencies and they bring them here and call them au pairs. That's what I was thinking about. Because usually these people are CEOs.
I don't think it's the same visa.
Okay,
Yeah.
not a
I
problem.
have to look into it to be sure, but I don't think it's the same visa. I haven't had one of those. Like, people ask me all the time about like coming to take care of kids or certain domestic help. But unless it's a case where you're trying to do like a EB3, like a skilled worker visa and stuff, like I haven't done one of those.
Okay, so that's a whole different visa there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, different.
All right.
And then for proof of funding, we talk about F1, you got to be able to show proof of funding for your first year. Can be sponsored, can be your money. For the J1, you have to be able to show it for your entire program. So for the F1, say for instance, for 3 years 4 years in college, the total is 100,000. But first year is only 25,000. You just have to show that 25,000 plus probably your living expenses. It's different for the J1. You have to show how you're going to pay for the entire academic program.
Wow.
And then when it comes to authorization, we talk about CPT, OPT, and the STEM program for F1 students. For J1, you have what is called academic training, AT, for working off campus during studies or after the completion of studies. And this is normally valid up to 18 months or the length of the program, whichever is shorter. So for instance, you have a PhD student, they may be authorized for an additional 18 months in some cases. And the length of approved AT, that's academic training time, is equal to the length of time you spend studying in the United States. And we have more information that we can provide on this if this is something that you want to know more about. And then as far as dependents, we talk about F1. They may study part-time, but they're not eligible for employment. with J1, the dependents are called J2, and they may study full time as well. And they can apply for employment authorization. So a lot of times you have teachers, like for instance from Jamaica.
Oh, yes.
And we can go through the qualifications for those, like 2 years experience, yada, yada, yada. Some you have like the conditional 2 years for going back home, subject for another time. But when the dependents come, the J2, they're able to go to school or work as well. But like the J1, if you're on these J2 visas, you're tied to your J1 applicant as well. So that applicant want to be careful how they make certain moves, because it could affect your J2 holder beneficiary. And then with the J1, and a lot of this is number one question I get from my J1 clients is them being subjected to the 2-year home presence requirement. And this applies if you're receiving any funding, even if it's nominal travel grants. So even if they're just helping to pay for your plane fare, if you're getting that from your home government or any government agency, U.S. agency, or your degree or program of study is on the exchange visitor skills list, like teaching, and then there's this list with specialized knowledge, then you will be subject to that 2 years return home physical presence requirement. Now,
wait a minute. When you say, before you get to the waivers, you said specialized knowledge. You mean like if I can read palm, that is considered specialized knowledge? Palm reading?
No.
Oh, okay.
So
I just want to know.
How they look at it is, like, I went to Manchester High School, and I think at one point they were sending out like certain scholarship offers, and you had the requirements. And for some, it's like if you apply for those colleges and you're the winner, then you have to come back home. So say, for instance, they give you $20,000 to go study in Guyana, and you're going to study economics there for 3 years. Upon completion, you have to return home. And they look at it because they're saying, we paid for it, or we assisted with the funding.
Yes.
And whatever it is that you're getting there, it's a specialized skill to your home country.
Okay.
So, and countries like even Jamaica does this a lot, where you send out engineers, certain international studies major, politics people who you want to like look at certain business development. Like, I know someone who he was studying, I don't remember the name of the school in Fort Lauderdale, but his thing in Jamaica was, his study was trying to figure out ways to improve the road system, like the highways, how to connect with different investors and different ways how they should go about fixing roads and stuff in Jamaica, whatever they call that kind of study. So
it's supposed to be engineering.
If this if they pay for this, then yeah, you're expected to return home.
You better.
But you do have waivers.
Okay.
You do have waivers that you have to send to basically you're sending it to the government in your home country, and then the government will approve or deny the waiver. The approval essentially means the government is communicating with Department of Homeland Security to say, yes, we waive the requirement. We don't care if this person return home. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to return home. It's just that the government is consenting to the fact that we don't require this person to return home before they can adjust in the United States, or before they can extend their stay on certain programs. And there's a lot that comes with that, but a lot of people who, they've come on the J1 visa, but one of their big questions is like, do I have to go home for 2 years? And the answer is yes, unless you get that waiver. Wow. And I know I mentioned teaching, but you do have people coming in different roles on the J1 visa. So, we are 7:51. Saying all that
And
to
you
say
have a
that there.
question here.
Go ahead.
No, I want you to finish up because I have a question from a listener. So I want you to finish up the J1, F1, and M, whatever, and then we get it. Because
Okay. Yeah, let me
taking
wrap
you
up
off
so we
path.
can take questions.
Uh-huh.
So basically, it's like a lot of people didn't know about the B1, B2 visitors visa. You coming in, or they may hear about the fiance visa.
Yes.
We talk a lot about family based, like the green card process, but they don't really know about these other types. So yes, you do have F1, M1, J1 ways you can come in the United States and study. Eventually, if it's your desire, you may be able to stay depending on your circumstances. But sometimes it's good to research and know that there are different options. And if you have a young one, say for instance, a child, niece, nephew, someone you know who has high potential, they may not have the money to go to college, university in their home country, but they may be able to apply for an approved institution in the United States, get accepted, talk with us. We may be able to like point you in certain direction. And honestly, this area of the law is very near and dear to my heart because I'm a big advocate for education. I believe it is indeed one of the ways to get out of poverty. So I am all for it. So I may shoot you some advice, lead you in the right direction, or just point you to different resources that I come across throughout my practice that may be able to help you or someone you know. So don't just keep the information for yourself. Let us know how we can help you or someone that you know. Now it's 7:53. I have 7 minutes, so come with all your questions and I'll try to address them.
All right. I want to say good night to Marcia Robinson. Good evening to you. Thank you for coming on board. Mazreen Harvey, good evening to you, sis. Thank you for coming on board. And Reverend Jason Simpson out of Jamaica, thank you as well. Also, some other folks joined us here on Facebook. Roxanne Wilkes, good evening to you. And May Brown as well. Now, Joe Jarrett Grant writes, the question is, I have a question about a green card application. If your adult child is filing for you, why do you have to do an interview? And what types of questions do they ask? So your adult child is filing for you. Why do you have to do an interview? And what are some of the questions they ask?
So first I hear you say green card, but I'm assuming that's for the beneficiary because you have to be a U.S. citizen in order to file for your parents. But an interview is not required. Filing for your parents is not required. You have cases where there are no interviews. So unless they're talking about being out, if you're inside the country, no. Outside the country where you have consular processing, then yes, because there's certain things that they have to ensure. Like, say for instance, you have a mom, 85 years old, sickly. You coming in the United States, there is I want to say 89% chance you're going to be depending on the system in some sort of way. So they have to look at everything. Also, this person should be able to sponsor you so you're not like you're not going to be a public charge, essentially, even though that you don't have to prove certain things anymore, but they want to make sure that you'll be able to fend for yourself, or whoever is sponsoring you will be able to fend for you. So looking through documents, figuring out certain things, your background, criminal history. So that's what the interview is for, like just really to weed out certain things. But normally when it's a parent-child relationship, the birth certificate suffice. If it's a case of a father where marriage wasn't in play at the time, normally DNA will come into place, but there shouldn't be any hiccups in terms of the questions that are being asked and so forth. Now, a lot of people outside the country, they may have immigration issues in terms of like, probably they've applied for a visa before and lied, or they may have been in the US before, gotten themselves into certain trouble, were sent out. They probably have like a 5-10 years bar. So it all depends on your situation for me to say specifically the questions that I know for sure they're going to ask you. But to answer your question, the whole purpose of the interview is to just ensure that you're admissible and you'll be able to overcome a certain bar.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Question well answered there, if I should say. And 3 more minutes going up to the top of the hour. We're going to say goodbye to you guys. Anybody else with a question? Let me just check a little bit more. Sophia Lewin, good evening to you in Jamaica. Welcome on board. And Doreen Reed Spiwe in Australia. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. All right. If you have any questions that you want to be answered privately, you can always reach out to attorney Georgia Lawrence, and she's here to give you the information again, how you can reach her. But before I do that, I always like to do this.
Refugees, dirty immigrants, asylum seekers, job stealers, that is what they see. Beautiful faces, thick accents, a melting pot of culture, holding 3 to 4 jobs, back pocket of hopes and dreams, seekers of opportunities, that is what we see. I am Georgia Lawrence, the founding attorney of Georgia Lawrence LLC. I was born and raised in Jamaica. I migrated to the United States with 2 suitcases and $200 to seek a better life. I understand firsthand the importance of having a fighter on your team to navigate the complexity of the immigration system. Hence the reason I chose immigration and human rights law. Here at Georgia Lawrence LLC, we take pride in connecting our passion and purpose to your plan. Give us a call today.
All right, and here's the lovely attorney, Georgia Lawrence, to wrap up the rest of the program and to tell you how you can get in touch with her if you have any questions for her.
All right, thank you so much again for joining us this evening. We really appreciate the comments, feedbacks, questions, and you engaging in the program. I can be reached on our business Facebook page, Georgia Lawrence LLC, or you can send us an email, georgialaw21@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on our website, georgialawrence.com. Wait, did I say that? I think I did.
Yes. That's okay.
georgialawrence.com for the website, Facebook, Georgia Lawrence LLC, email, georgialaw21@gmail.com. And we'll be happy to answer any question that you have. Again, like, share our message. We're trying to reach as much people as possible. If this information isn't for you, it may be able to help someone that you know, even if you don't know that they need the help. So go ahead and share. And as always, peace, and we're here to serve.
Thank you so much, attorney. And if there's any immigration topic that you want her to open up and discuss, feel free to also send that to her. All right? Give her some time so she can bring that to the forefront. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And guys, remember, she's on every 2nd and 4th Monday. So she'll be back not next Monday, but the following Monday. So you have enough time. Get your suggestions in and your questions in. Give her enough time to compile the information and come out here to give it to you. All right? Thank you, attorney.
All righty. Take care now.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Jesus, your presence. Whoa, can't live without your presence. Oh, Matchless love and beauty, endless words. Endless words. Nothing in this world will satisfy. No, no one. 'Cause Jesus, you're the cup that won't run dry. Oh, Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Yeah. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Treasure of my heart and of my soul. In you, in my weakness, you are merciful. Thank you, Jesus. Redeemer of my past and present wrong. Holder of my future days to come. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Hallelujah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Worship you. Your presence is heaven to me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. We bless you. Your presence is heaven, Jesus. Your presence is heaven to me. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. All my days on earth are will away. I'll wait till I die. The moment that I see you face to face. 'Cause nothing in this world will satisfy me. 'Cause Jesus, you're the cup that won't run dry. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, your presence is heaven to me.
Want to say a big thank you to attorney Georgia Lawrence.
The treasure of my heart and of my soul. Of my soul.
From the Georgia Lawrence Law Firm
You are merciful.
in Jamaica, and she practices right here in Georgia. But don't you forget that because immigration is federal matters, she can and is allowed to practice from any of the 50 states of the United States of America. And if you're outside of the US of A as well, she can help you. Send her an email at georgialaw21@gmail.com. That's georgialaw21@gmail.com. If you got a burning question, also reach out to her, all right? If there's anything you want her to discuss, go ahead. She'll accommodate that too, all right? Winding down here nice and easy. I got a birthday that I got to really celebrate right now. So give me about 5 more minutes. All right? Hallelujah.
Could you possibly rewind and come again?
Want to send some birthday greetings out to Charlene. That's my blue sister in Jamaica. Back in the days, we know her as Charlene Vanry, right? Charlene, sending lots of love out to you, girl, on your birthday. What you doing, huh?
Who is like you, Lord, in all the earth? There is no one, no one. Matchless love and beauty, endless words. Endless words. Nothing in this world will satisfied. No, no, cause Jesus, you're the cup that won't run dry. Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Yeah. Jesus, your presence is heaven.
I want to welcome you to the after party. Relaxing on a Monday evening. A beautiful spring day it is in my neck of the woods. How about yours? Jesus, your presence is heaven to me. Title of the track is Your Presence, done right here by Jason Mighty. One of these days, I hope that you'll be able to say that if you haven't said it yet. Trust me, I know what he means. That's all I want in this stage of my life. Want to be where he is. Sending a shout out to Melrose Allen. Good evening, Melrose. Toy girl. How you doing? How's Massachusetts treating you? Good evening to you. Velma Strong, good evening to you as well. Welcome. Want to send a shout out to my sister Hopa Bailey, who's not feeling too well today. Hopa, we're keeping you in our prayers. We love you. You have been a part of the CGRFM family and always will be. When you cry, we cry. When you feel pain, so do we. So this evening, we're sending up prayers. We have already saturated the atmosphere with prayers on your behalf, Opa. We love you that much, sis.
You are merciful.
Gonna get into a little bit of celebration here for a few more minutes. So if you're celebrating anything at all, whether it be a birthday, a wedding anniversary, engagement anniversary, a divorce, whatever it is that you are celebrating, let me know. The birth of a baby, even the very pregnancy. If you're in the celebratory mood, so am I. Tell me all about it so that I can help you celebrate right here, right now. Oh God, please, if you take anything away from us, please don't take your presence away. Jason Mighty on this one, your presence. And for those who are celebrating, yes, I am celebrating with you right here, right now. My sister, my blue sister in Jamaica, Charlene, celebrating her birthday today. Charlene, happy birthday to you, girl. Happy birthday to you, Charlene, in Jamaica. I hope that this new year will bring you renewed youth. Yes. Have you mounting up on eagle's wings, girl. I pray that the Lord will give you excellent health. Boy, I'm telling you, at our age, that's all we want, right? If we didn't get the money until this time, God, we're asking if we had to choose. I don't know about you, but I'm asking for excellent health. So, Charlene, I'm asking God for excellent health for you. And yeah, you could do with some money, right? That too. Happy birthday to you, my sister. And may you live to see many, 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 many more happy and healthy birthdays. Again, to Charlene in Jamaica. We went to school together at that time. She was Charlene Van Riel. Today, she's Charlene England. So, happy birthday to you, Charlene. Love you lots, girl. Thank you. You're always supporting me here at Caribbean Gospel Radio FM. You're truly a sister. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the month. Enjoy the year. And yes, let them know you're still accepting gifts all the way to the 11th of April 2022. All right? It's a whole year. Happy birthday to you, girl. I have a song that I want to dedicate to you on this your birthday, Charlene. And the song simply says blessings, and it comes from Fiona. Dedicating this one to you, Charlene, on your day, your special day. May the Lord bless you richly.
Gospel Radio Faith Ministry wishes to thank you. By far, I'm not the only person sending happy birthday greetings to you, Charlene. A whole lot of us from the 86 group been sending happy birthday to you. So tell you what, I'm going to tell you. Let me read it right here for you, girl, so that when you listen back to this program,
You can hear it. Coming from Allison McKnight, she says, happiest birthday, Charlene. Have an amazing day. God's blessings always. From Jeanette McDermott, she says, happy birthday, Charlene. Veril Montague sending happy birthday to you too, Charlene. He says, do have a lovely day. Barrington Da Costa sending happy birthday to my forever young sister, he says. Thank you, Reverend Simpson's enjoying the songs. Let me kick this one back from the top for Charlene. I'm loving on her this evening, and not just me, but all of us who we were classmates back then. So tell you what, Charlene, when it's nice, we got to play it twice. And girl, I got to kick this back from the top just for you. I think I need to do a pot cover pull-up for you, Charlene. Yes, a pot cover.
Again, pot cover.
Arnell Thames sending happy birthday to you, Charlene. He says, happy birthday, sis. Have a great one. Enough love and respect always. Latty Brown. Latty says, on this special day, a queen was born. Happy birthday, Charlene. Wishing you a great day and enjoy. Enough love. Your blue sister Sandra Spence says, happy birthday, Charlene. Gloria Thompson is sending happy birthday greetings to you, Charlene. She says, enjoy your day to the fullest. Dinsdale Mackenzie says, happy birthday, sis. Bless up. Art Gilchrist in the UK says, happy birthday, sis. Live healthy with enough blessings, enough happiness, and love and blessings. Charlene, we're loving on you, girl. Karen Ford Bell says, she's wishing you all the best on this, your very special day. Marva Brian Patterson says, happy birthday, Charlene. Have a fun-filled day. Your sister Yvonne Hawkins says, happy birthday, Charlene. Smiley. Wishing you a healthy, happy, blessed, safe day. And much appreciated love, prayers, and showers of God's grace to you. Have a lovely, enjoyable one. And I'm telling you, Charlene, by the time you finish eating all this cake that we're giving you, I don't know how you're going to get out of that house, all right? Ezekiel says, happy Earth Strong, Charlene. Your age must be going in the other direction. You keep looking younger and younger. Full joy your day, he says. Stanley Saxton says, happy birthday, Charlene. Enough blessings. Your blue brother, Sean Dawkins says, Lady Charlene, happy birthday. Long life and blessings. Endeavors to you. Glory. Yes. Celebrating my blue sister. Yes, we're coming from a way back. It's a big thing for me. It's a big thing to me. Because at our age, we got to thank you for blessing. Charlene, we love you, girl. Love you lots. Love you, love you, love your blue sister. Yes, and if you're wondering what this blue sister is about, we were all boarders when we were students at Husamarty School in Twickenham Park, St. Catherine. Yes, the Cuban school at the roundabout. Charlene, I remember the days when the buses would roll in and you would get your food Your parents would send you food Sunday dinner. And girl, I remember getting some of that nice chicken and stuff. And that rice and peas was tasty. I still reminisce every now and then, Charlene, and I do remember. These are the little things that have stuck with me throughout the years. And I thank you for being a friend and a sister, Charlene. Enjoy your new year. Blessings, girl. From right here at our CJFM family, Nicole Williams is sending happiest birthday to you, Charlene. She says enough blessings. And she gave you 3 bottles of Christian champagne, all right? Hot dog, 4 birthday cakes, and 3 gifts, all right? She's making sure that you're taken care of, well taken care of, Charlene. Thank you, Nicole. Good evening, Myrtle Anderson. Toy reporting that Massachusetts is cold again, but they're all healthy. Thanks be to God. Nicole says, I'm celebrating life. There's a lot going on in our country, but God. Amen to that. Ivan A. Montague Road, and good evening to you. Greetings. Back at you. Want to welcome Melrose Allen, and she has an anniversary coming up on Wednesday. And I'm trusting God that I'll be here on Wednesday to celebrate with you, Melrose. Nicole is sending happy anniversary to you and yours, also Melrose. She gave you 1 gift to share for both of you and 1 bottle of champagne, Christian champagne, to share for both of you, all right? If you're celebrating an anniversary today, whatever it is, we just want to say happy anniversary, happy birthday, happy whatever. And if we did miss your birthday, then of course, you know, we got to make up for that. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday. And if we missed your birthday, happy belated to you. Lots more blessings for each and every one of you. Blessings indeed. Let me give you this one. I gave you this one from Fiona, blessings, and Prodigal has one that I really like. Blessings that run me down. How many of you know that? So let me play it for you this evening. Blessings that run me down. All right, here we go. Just for you. So let me pull that one back up, man. It got to start good. It have to start good, as some say. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. All right, here we go. Blessings.
Awesome alone is not enough to describe you. Mighty and powerful, those names belong to you. Omnipotent, omnipresent, and conquering lion too. All praise and worship is due.
I'm asking God for blessings on you, whatever you're celebrating. Hit it, Friday. Chatbot. Ouch. Lord of mercy. Oi. Blessings that run me down. Ouch. I need to come on me say, Lord of mercy. Take me now. Sending a shout out to all the Cubans. Not true, Charlene. Cubans for life. Norma Allen, come on in. I'm about to go on out, Norma. This is just an extension of the immigration program. No fear, and with you him reside. You have a right to be blessed, a right to happiness, and anything you touch will be major success. You have a right to wealth, a right to good health, the right to have angels and camp round me tent. Me say blessing around me door. Not true? I will look east, west, north, and south. I need to come and me say blessing around me door, and goodness and mercy overtake me now, yo. Blessing around me.
They're too hot. When the train run off.
I need to come and me say
blessing around me door, and goodness and mercy overtake me. And when the cup overflow, you still are pouring it. And when me don't deserve no more, you still put more in it. And when my faith is getting weak, you keep assuring it. I've
my sister and brother, they had their anniversary, their wedding anniversary yesterday. Speedway and Brian, happy wedding anniversary to you. Girl, how could I forget that? I feel so bad. Oh my God. Brian and Speedway celebrated their wedding anniversary yesterday, which is our today, right? Which is today for us, right? Things are run me down. Your good can done, Lord Jesus. Lots of blessing up on you, Speedy and Brian. Lots more babies, all right? Good. I have one more song to play for you all, and that encapsulates the message for whatever it is that you're celebrating, all right? Prodigal Son, and this one, Blessing. Want to say thank you so much for sticking and staying with us today. Gotta make my way on out of here, and I hope that you enjoyed the program. Life every day, Somerset. Sing I run me down. Want to close out with Janice Charles. The song is called Favor. And that's what I'm praying for. Blessings and favor over your life. Here we go. Dancing my way on out of here. Until we come back again another time. This is Dr. Monica. I love y'all. Yeah. I told you it was going to be a party. Reverend Jason Simpson, how you doing?
Some people ask me why I always have a smile on my face.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I tell them,
boy, when the music's so good, how can I say goodbye?
Your joy, your love.
What is this I'm doing to myself, man? No, sir.
When I think
Woo!
of the things you have done for me.
Hey, that bad.
Hey.
Yeah. My God. Some people ask me why I always have a smile on my face.
Lord Jesus.
I tell them it's a reflection of your joy, your love, and saving grace.
Woody.
When I think of all the good things you have done for me, even though I don't deserve them, you still lavish them upon me, and that's favor.
Your favor is upon me. Take it.
Hallelujah, your favor
Take all of it.
is upon me, Lord.
Ah.
Your favor is upon
Lord
me.
of mercy.
Hallelujah.
Woo.
Jesus is
Upon me, Lord.
favor.
I.
Is upon me,
Woo.
Lord.
Favor. Is upon me, Lord. Hey.
Yeah.
Clear tune. Take tune. Ah. Woo. Hey.
I am blessed and highly favored, 'cause your mind is filled with thoughts of me.
Ah, God.
While
Thank
I
you.
was yet a sinner, Jesus came, died, and rose again to set me free.
Valdine Turton, good evening to you, girl.
Now I belong to him, and all things work together.
Nicole sending happy anniversary to Speedway and Brian.
Surely his goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life.
I'll be a godmother, Speedway.
Favor.
Ah, your favor is upon me. Hallelujah, your favor Lord Jesus.
Hallelujah.
I'm loving it. Ah,
The chop they too hot.
Is upon me,
Man, the train
Lord.
favor, favor.
Is upon me, Lord.
Favor, favor.
Is upon me, Lord. Yeah.
I.
Home security. Home security.
God has smiled upon me. There is no limit to what He has in store for me.
Woo!
His favor never runs out. I have His blessings abundantly.
Woo! Jesus.
He's the answer to my problems, restores my fortunes, fulfills my dreams,
Ah,
brings me into a new season. Look what the Lord has done for me. And that's favor.
ah, your favor is upon me.
Hallelujah, your favor
Yes, Jesus.
is upon me, Lord. Your favor is upon me. Hallelujah, your favor
Is upon me, Lord. Favor,
is upon me, Lord.
favor, favor,
Is upon me, Lord. Favor
favor,
is upon me, Lord.
I want to send some greetings out to our listeners in Grenada.
Favor is upon me, Lord.
We're praying with you, praying for you.
Favor is upon me, Lord. Favor
Now I hear Norma says, Doc, you can't run up on this throne.
is upon me, Lord.
I gotta go. I gotta go. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Minister Cheryl Graham, good evening to you.
What people say. We are bigger than that. Bigger than what people say. Unfathomable. I hear them talking. They don't have a clue. Them running up their mouth. But you're bigger than what people say. Glory to your name, God. Hallelujah. Magnificent God. Chesney mega magnificent. Dragon big God. Chesney mega ginormous. Magnanimous. Mega magnificent. You magnanimous. Jesus bigger than what people say. Ding it, ding it, ding it.
All our family members that are in St. Vincent,
I hear them.
just want to play the song for you. No matter what you're going through today,
But you're bigger than what
just know that you still serve a big, big God, all right?
bigger than what people say. Jesus.
Up until 5 hours ago, reports coming out of Kingstown, St. Vincent,
I hear them running up their
are that there are huge explosions going on as the volcano keeps erupting. 2 hours ago, it says that thousands are being threatened. And what they've seen is the biggest so far, the largest explosion so far. And that was what erupted today. Heavy ash is still blanketing the area. And so we continue to pray for them. But sometimes it takes more than prayer. You know that. We got to get up and we got to move. We got to move out of harm's way. We got to do things ourselves as well. All right. So all my family members that are in St. Vincent, and I know I have a whole lot of you, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I'm playing this for you from the top again. And I'm making my way on out of here right now, all right? After this song. Honestly.
what people say. We are bigger than that. Bigger than what people say. Unfathomable. I hear them talking. They don't have a clue. Them running up their mouth. But you're bigger than what people say. Glory to your name, God. Hallelujah.
Let me just catch you up as to what is going on in St. Vincent as we hear the news coming out. La Soufrière, and I hope I'm saying it right, La Soufrière, volcano on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, erupted in another huge explosion today, sending sulfuric gas and ash over a wide area and prompting concerns about the safety of residents who have not evacuated. The latest eruption sent fast-moving flows of hot gas and volcanic material down the south and southwest flanks of the volcano, which first erupted on Friday. The government had ordered about 16,000 people who live in communities close to the volcano to evacuate on April 9 after the island was put on red alert due to a shift in volcanic activity at the crater of La Soufrière. According to director of the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, is Rusilla Joseph, it's destroying everything in its path. He also said anybody who would have not heeded the evacuation, they need to get out immediately. As yet, there have been no reports of deaths or injuries, but drinking water supplies on the island have been polluted. According to a program manager at a local radio station in the capital, quote, there was a very large explosion, the largest to date from this event, this morning at about 4:15 a.m. He said there has been a continuous process now of venting from the location of the volcano. He also said people are now running out of clean drinking water because supplies have become highly contaminated due to the ash from the volcano. La Soufrière last erupted in 1979, while a previous eruption in 1902 killed about 1,600 people. The volcano started showing signs of activity in December and began erupting again on April 9. Preliminary reports indicate flows from the volcano have destroyed nearby farms and structures. According to the report, scientists have advised this may go on for days. It may go on for weeks. It may go on well beyond that, and there may be very large explosions from time to time, throwing even more ash into the atmosphere. He also said it's not going to be a pretty picture when we get full view of things. Wow. Experts have raised concerns about residents who refuse to evacuate. It is unclear how many people have remained in their homes, but one government minister who toured the island's northeast region on Sunday said he saw a few dozen people in the community of Sandy Bay alone. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves has urged people to leave, telling them it is unsafe. Gonsalves also said during the weekend that it could take 4 months before life goes back to normal on St. Vincent. According to a seismic researcher, Richard Robertson, the volcano's pyroclastic flows, which National Geographic defines as dense, fast-moving flows of solidified lava pieces, volcanic ash, and hot gases, would have razed everything in their way. Anything that was there, man, animal, anything, they're gone. And it's a terrible thing to say it.
Can I take a moment?
Can I ask you to continue to keep the people of St. Vincent in our prayers? And if you're listening in to me, I want to tell you to take heed. Take heed. Get out of its way. I'm Dr. Monica Dennis Jones, saying it was good being here with you this evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Make it worthwhile until we meet again. God bless you. Good night. One love.
Ears have not heard, neither has it entered in the minds of Mega magnificent, you magnanimous. What?
From the USA to Europe and into the Caribbean, all the world over, this is Caribbean Gospel Radio FM, keeping you inspired and informed.
Are you looking for delicious meals cooked to perfection from authentic Jamaican spices? At Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant, your taste buds will love the delectable, mouth-watering oxtails, curry goat, curry chicken, steamed fish, jerk chicken, and vegetable meals, freshly cooked and served by the loving, warm, and attentive chef and staff. Centrally located in Codman Square, 38 Norfolk Street, Dorchester Center, Massachusetts, you can get to Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant for your breakfast, lunch, dinner meals, and vegan dishes. Taste of Eden Jamaican Restaurant is open Mondays through Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Fridays and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., closed on Saturdays. We cater and deliver by Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. Call 617-282-0077 or order online